Dr. E.N.G. Marek Gruszecki. Philosophy of Being. Krakow, 2025. My 85th anniversary. Philosophical essay Does God Exist? Krakow, the 19th of April 2025.
The Organization of Nature, Part 1. The basis of the functioning of nature is the energy of sunlight. This energy flows through the bodies of plants, animals, and humans, and at each stage it is partly used and partly dissipated. There are many relationships between organisms in a given environment that allow them to function in balance, creating an ecosystem. It is an ecological system consisting of a group of organisms and their environment. An ecosystem can be considered a self-sufficient unit of the landscape. Ecosystems exhibit a rich diversity of species, including plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms. This biological diversity contributes to the stability of ecosystems and increases their ability to adapt to environmental changes. The viability of any ecosystem depends on its ability to maintain internal balance or homeostasis. The most durable ecosystems are those composed of many elements with numerous relationships. Damage to the structure of an ecosystem leads to a breakdown in homeostasis and, consequently, to an ecological disaster. In ecosystems, matter circulates between the living and non-living parts of the ecosystem. After the death of each organism, its body is broken down into simple chemical compounds. These are then reused, and the cycle is complete. Simultaneously with the circulation of matter in nature, there is a flow of energy. Energy must be introduced into the ecosystem from outside and is gradually dispersed. Plants use light energy and store it in chemical compounds. They use a significant part of this energy to build their bodies and produce flowers, fruits, and seeds. All elements of the ecosystem interact with each other. Living organisms in the ecosystem can be divided into three categories: producers, consumers, and decomposers. The food chain is a series of organisms that eat each other. Primary producers are the basis of the food chain. The main producers are autotrophs, i.e. self-feeding organisms that can produce their own food. These are most often photosynthetic organisms, such as plants, algae, and cyanobacteria. Consumers are organisms that feed on producers, i.e. all heterotrophic organisms that do not produce their own food and must eat other organisms. There are several orders of consumers. Organisms at the top of the food chain are called top consumers. Decomposers or reducers are heterotrophic organisms, e.g. bacteria and fungi, that feed on dead organic plant or animal matter and metabolic products. Reducers convert organic matter into simple mineral compounds that can be reused, e.g. by plants. The Organization of Nature, Part 2. Food chains can vary greatly. In terrestrial ecosystems, food chains usually have 3 to 4 links. In aquatic environments, however, food chains are slightly more complex and consist of a larger number of links. Although it might seem that top consumers, i.e. consumers that feed on producers and other consumers, are at the top of the food chain, there is someone who has even greater power, namely decomposers. Even carnivorous animals are subject to their decomposition. Animals eating plants and animals eating other animals is essential for their life processes. The cycle of matter in nature is constantly repeating itself. Parasites, which obtain the nutrients they need from the bodies of other living organisms, form a special group of heterotrophic organisms. Cybernetic models are usually used to explain the mechanisms of homeostasis in nature. They are based on feedback, * negative feedback. The response inhibits a triggering stimulus. Negative feedback has a stabilizing effect. * positive feedback. The response stimulates the triggering stimulus. The stabilization of processes occurring in the ecosystem takes place gradually during progressive succession, i.e. the process of ecosystem transformation. There are many consumers who eat any food. They are omnivores. Humans are also omnivorous organisms. Herbivores often eat different species of plants and may themselves fall prey to various carnivores, which often hunt each other as well. Intertwined food chains form a food web. This is a complex system of interdependencies between a huge number of organisms. The destruction of even one link can upset the balance of the entire web. All organisms are important to the environment. Even those described by humans as weeds or pests have their place in food chains. Not all plants are producers. There are also parasitic or semiparasitic plants. Ecological corridors are necessary for the proper functioning of ecosystems. These are elongated areas connecting similar habitats, which animals use to move between them. In addition to being a migration route for animals, they are also a means of spreading plants and fungi. Corridors provide animals with suitable conditions for movement. They offer shelter and access to food. They are extremely important due to the fragmentation of the environment as a result of human activity and land transformation. They enable organisms to move and interact with each other. This is how God organized life. Thank you for that.
Conclusion. But Jesus, overhearing what was being said, said to the ruler of the synagogue, "Do not be afraid, only believe." Bible, Mark 5 verse 36. It will still be beautiful, despite everything. Just put on comfortable shoes, because you have your whole life to go through. John Paul II. Mathematics in Nature.